Today I'm going to talk about how you can become tough.
I cry all the time. It's really good. I love crying.
Cry a lot.
I was crying on the couch,
On my bed.
alone in a bathroom.
Cried the whole plane ride.
Let me sit here and enjoy this pain. I get to mile 70, the worst pain of my life. I was all dizzy and lightheaded, and I was just dying. The bathroom was like 20 feet away from me, and I couldn't. I sat there and peed blood down my leg. It started crapping up my back with 30 miles to go, and my feet were broken. Me against me.
Okay, so crying isn't bad, but maybe why these people are crying is for no good reason. I don't know. Anyone who knows David Goggins' story, from being an overweight loser to a Navy SEAL, just has to be impressed by what this guy has accomplished. But his level of toughness is perhaps bordering on self-harm. You don't need to pee blood to be a tough person. Now, feel free to use Goggins as inspiration when you're doing something challenging. Just let's not hurt ourselves, okay? When people ask me how to become tougher, what they're really saying to me is, Brian, if I'm attacked, I'm afraid I won't fight back, or I'm afraid that I'll freeze, or I'll give up. And yes, you want to know the answer to that question. So let's dig a little bit deeper into what toughness is so we can figure out how to become tougher. Here's what getting tough is not. Getting punched in the head a lot is not required to become tough. In fact, it will likely lead to the opposite of the results that you want. I'm not saying that at some point you shouldn't put on, the boxing gloves and experience getting hit in the face. That's definitely useful. But repeated head trauma leads to demyelinization of nerve clusters, aka traumatic brain injuries. Over time, not only do you cause brain damage, but the more you get hit, the more demyelinization happens, and the easier it is for you to get knocked out. So cut this stupid shit out right away. Getting tough is not enjoying pain. There are some people who, they enjoy pain, they like getting hit. Folks, this is not normal. These are people with borderline personality disorders, cutters, self-harmers. There is childhood trauma here. Don't try to compare yourself with someone who has a mental illness and needs therapy. Now, people will ask me about pain. They'll say, hey, if I feel pain in a fight, I'm afraid I'll give up. Look, I wouldn't worry too much about pain in a fight. Your endorphins will be kicking in. That's endogenous morphine. That is painkiller that is actually produced inside your body. You see people get stabbed and shot all the time and keep fighting. So you're worried about getting punched in the ribs and you're like, oh, it hurts, I give up. Not if you follow the toughness things I'm going to show you, but it really shouldn't bother you. You probably won't even feel it. Now, if you get hit in the head and that causes you to become disoriented, well, that really isn't about toughness. There isn't much you can do about that other than get good at not getting hit. Since there really isn't anything you can do to toughen up your head, and by the way, if anyone says that there is, please provide the scientific explanation down in the comments along with some supporting research or medical documentation. It's bullshit. What getting tough is, toughness is a self-belief that is earned by pushing through discomfort. It is choosing who you want to be and then arranging your life choices to be congruent with that. It's being the kind of person who can handle stress and pressure and stay calm and focused. When you see some guys out there like losing their shit and they start swearing, beating their chest, boasting, getting ready to fight, that is not toughness. That is pomp and posturing, masking their fear and a lack of emotional control. The famous samurai Musashi would relish facing dim-witted opponents like that. Toughness is being okay with discomfort. It's staying calm under pressure. It's having your game plan messed up, but you keep going anyway. It's getting hit and not thinking that's the end of the world. It's not giving up. It's about knowing who you are and what you are willing to fight for. Toughness is mental. not to be confused with physical resilience, which you really have limited control over. Start lifting weights ASAP, by the way. So how exactly do you improve your mental toughness? Well, there's an area of the brain that was recently identified as the seat of your willpower, and your ability to face challenges comes from here. It's called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex grows larger the more challenges you face, or the more discomfort that you push through. Specifically, the more things that you make yourself do that you do not want to do. Interestingly enough, overweight people have smaller anterior mid-cingulate cortexes. But people who have become lean have larger anterior mid-cingulate cortexes because they push through the discomfort of dieting when they really wanted to eat a bunch of high-calorie junk food. It also appears to be related to the will to live. Now, we live in a soft nation with few real challenges. Every negative post online seems like an existential crisis, and we live in a world where people are offended oh so easily. If someone disagrees with you, you lose your absolute shit. Suicide is the #1 killer of men today. Could it be that we just need to push into some discomfort and become a little tougher? Now, before I give you examples of how to build toughness, realize there are a couple of simple rules. Number 1, you must push into discomfort, specifically something that you do not want to do. Number 2, it must be something that is emotionally and physically safe. Do not endanger yourself or others, aka don't be an idiot. And number 3, there is no end goal. There is no metric that we can look at and say you're now tough. Rather, it is an ongoing process that you will do for the rest of your life as long as you want to be tough. Hey, look, stop doing tough things and your anterior mid-cingulate cortex will shrink over time. So yes, toughness is a skill that you can both build up and you can lose. So here's some examples of how to get tough in a controlled and safe manner. Let's say you need to lose weight. Okay, great. Commit to a diet plan. Remember, people that lose weight have bigger anterior mid-cingulate cortexes. Now, that doesn't mean never indulge in fun foods, but every time you say no, when you want to say yes, you are growing your anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and each time it's going to get easier to say no. Cardio. Push harder than you want to. If you're doing 0 cardio, then just start doing something 1 to 2 days per week. If you're already doing some cardio, jogging, rowing, whatever, then you're probably not going to grow your anterior mid-cingulate cortex or your toughness if it's something that you enjoy doing. Because remember, you have to do something that you don't want to do. So here's an example. I actually can't stand doing cardio, but I do go out on regular walk jogs. So I'll tell myself, okay, cool, I've been out, maybe I've walked and jogged for about a 1/4 of a mile or something. I'm going to tell myself, cool, I'm going to sprint to that next tree. I'm only allowed to breathe through my nose, and then boom, I take off, I hit my sprint, whatever distance that is. As soon as I come out of that sprint, back into a walk or a light jog, I am not allowed to breathe from my mouth. I'm only allowed to breathe through my nose. Now, I can tell you this, when you have just done a sprint, you're going to really want to breathe out of your mouth, and I don't let myself. This is building up my anterior mid-cingulate cortex, my mental toughness, due to the discomfort of that CO2 buildup. Next, we have chilly showers. Several times per week at the end of a shower, I will turn the water all over to the cold side. Then I'll turn my body and I'll make sure that I'll hit all parts of my body. And I do this for probably about 20-30 seconds. How cold? Remember, it is not about how cold you can get it, nor is it about you getting used to the cold and somehow, becoming tougher. What it is about you pushing past where you want to stop. So here's what you do. You're in your nice warm hot shower, just start turning the water colder, wait a moment, turn it a little bit colder, wait a moment, turn a little bit colder, wait a moment. Once you hit this point where you don't want to go any further, turn it a little bit further, go just past that. That's pushing into that toughness. Okay, so I'm not suggesting that you go full Spartan mode and give up all of your creature comforts in life. In fact, I think that's a bad idea. What you should start doing is pushing into things that you don't want to do on purpose on a regular basis. So to summarize, toughness is mental. It's a choice, and it is earned by pushing into discomfort. 2, you should choose safe things to push into. 3, there is no end goal. It's just something that you do at least a couple of times per week, if not more often, for the rest of your life. Toughness can be built up and it can go away. 4, you do not need to replace your couch with a rock, your bed with a concrete slab, your TV with a set of encyclopedias. You can still enjoy comfort and comfortable things in life as long as you don't neglect stepping into discomfort. If you liked today's video, thanks for the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're alerted when future videos come out. If you're ready to become part of the warrior class, come train. See you next time.
Well, if you've got two hands on it, if not, then you may have to.